In this video, we'll be running through our top tips and looking at how to get the most out of the popular Foldio Foldable Studio Light Tent. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to us for more photo and video equipment reviews just like this. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Hypop, or visit our website www.hypop.com.au. But with all that being said, let's get into it. Our first tip would be to use a camera tripod or a mobile phone bracket tripod to take photos on the Foldio. That allows you to be more consistent with your shots. It helps with post-production, so when you're going into post to crop your images as well as do any color balancing, etc., all your images will remain the same. They'll remain in the same position. So on top of actually using a camera tripod, it's best to also position your products in the same location, perhaps even mark it down in the Foldio product tent, and using these tripods to get consistent images all the time. So we've got three different options in terms of camera tripods or mobile brackets here with me now. So I've got a little mini stand here. It acts as a light stand that has a 1/4 inch thread at the top. What we've simply done is grabbed a mobile bracket. The mobile bracket has a screw thread at the bottom there, as you can see, and you simply mount that on top of the stand. And this can pretty much mount most smartphones. All you need to do is pull on that tab to mount your smartphone. I've got my smartphone with me here, and you can simply mount that on there. So when you go ahead and take your photo shots, you can see that'll be pretty much the perfect height in terms of taking photos in your Foldio light tent. We've also got the Joby tripod here. So this is the Joby Grip Type Pro. It's made specifically for smartphones. It also has a mobile bracket, as you can see there. So that's ideal. The advantage of the Joby is that you can extend the legs or adjust them to get lower heights there, as well as with the bracket on the top here, it has a tilt function that allows you to reposition your camera and get the correct angle that you need for your shot. Now lastly, if you have a camera tripod already, I've got one set up behind me here. You can simply look for one of these mobile brackets that you can just mount directly onto the top of a quick release plate here. So the quick release plate of most camera tripods should have a 1/4 inch thread. Simply mount that to your tripod, to your camera tripod there, and place the mobile bracket on top. And you can also mount your mobile directly onto the camera there. So all of these options here do have 1/4 inch threads, which also match to the bottom of most cameras as well. So that means you can mount not only your mobile device, but even a camera if you wish to. Okay, tip number 2 is to select what app to use if using a mobile device when shooting with the Foldio. So there's a few ways you can go about doing this. Firstly is the free app that's provided by Foldio themselves, which is the Foldio app. If you've only got the Foldio Light Studio tent here, then all you need is the Foldio app. Otherwise, there is a Foldio 360 app made specifically for the 360-degree images and videos and GIFs that you make with it. So the Foldio app advantage is that it allows you to take the photo and also adjust the brightness. Secondly is you could use your native camera app. So the native camera app is also quite good. So the one on the Apple iPhone, for example, has the touch to focus. You can change the exposure levels and brightness with that as well. But the only downside is it doesn't have any advanced features that most other DSLRs have. So if you're shooting with a DSLR, you can change, your exposure, your shutter speed, your aperture, things like that. With the native camera app, you don't have those sorts of functions. So the last sort of app that we'd recommend would be an app that you'd purchase from an app store. So there's one on the Apple App Store, which is called Camera Plus, and that one there allows you to adjust all those other advanced features that other cameras would have. So if you're wanting to fine-tune some of your settings, I definitely recommend to use that one there. And secondly is if you actually are shooting with a DSLR. So if you're shooting with DSLR camera, pretty much there's no app that you would need. All you'd need is the memory card. You'd obviously remove that memory card and then input that with a card reader into your computer and take the images from there. Or an alternative would be to use a tether cable. So you can tether that direct to an application such as Lightroom or Capture One, and basically just maintain all your images through there, and then you can edit and post-process through your computer that way. Tip number 3 would be to get creative with your backdrops. So Foldio do provide backdrops with the Foldio 2. There's 4 backdrops provided in the Foldio 2 as mentioned: the white, the black, the chroma key green, and the grey. So Foldio 3 only provides 2 backdrops, so it's only white and black. So what you could do is actually Foldio provide inside the instructions the measurements for each backdrop, depending on what size Foldio you get. So the Foldio2 backdrop or the Foldio3 backdrop. And you can get creative and use your own materials to make different backdrops. So you can choose perhaps cardboard paper or some paper you'd buy from the stationery store or something like that, and use that as your backdrop if you're wanting like a plain color backdrop, if you're wanting to achieve like a pink or a yellow, if you're wanting to get really colorful with it, you can definitely do that. But on top of that, circling back to our tip number 2 with the chroma key here. So with the chroma key green, you could actually shoot your products on this backdrop here and change the backdrop color through the Foldio app. So if you're shooting with a mobile device using the app, you can use the chroma key function there, and you can input your own image there to use as a backdrop. So you can use anything, you can get super creative, you can put it behind a city landscape or like a greenery landscape, or even using it just as a plain colored image, such as like a plain blue image, for example. If you want a blue backdrop for your product photos, you can definitely do that. So getting creative with the backdrops allows you to have more flexibility in shooting your product photos. So tip number 4 would be all about lighting. So the Foldio 2 provides you with 2 LED strip lights here, as you can see. I'm just playing with the dimmer knob there. So the default position, or what it says in the manual, is to position these 2 LED strips at the front here of the actual Foldio. So it allows the light to come in and it won't obstruct sort of or create shadows at the back there. So what we definitely recommend is to use double-sided Velcro tape. So they provide double-sided tape, but not double-sided Velcro tape. And what double-sided Velcro tape will allow you to do is allow you to reposition the lights, in different areas around the Foldio. So basically, the 2 front positions there are perfect. You can also have them positioned down the bottom here if you'd like. So as well as having perhaps 2 Velcro tabs on the side here, and that will allow you to mount it vertically and provide a strip or a sort of rim light for shooting things such as products photos for like glass or like bottles, things like that. Or you could have it positioned down the center here, so one at the front here and one towards the back, and that will allow you to sort of have a side light. So repositioning your lights and having flexibility with how you have your lighting depending on what product you're shooting is what's recommended. Now, a final tip is that you can use the Foldio in a variety of different ways. So not only can you shoot from the front, you can actually reposition your Foldio to be top down. So if you're wanting to shoot flat lay, you can most certainly do that, like so. So you can shoot from top down on your Foldio as well. So it's perfect for things such as food photography, or if you're wanting to get creative with your flat lays for use in social media. It's really popular at the moment on places like Instagram and Facebook. The great thing about this as well is that you can actually remove one of the flaps here, the magnetic flaps, and you can actually access the bottom here. So if you're doing arts and crafts and hand lettering and things like that, you can still access the actual the flat lay of the photo tent here and still shoot and continue to shoot. So that's a great advantage. So that's another reason why we do recommend to use Velcro on the lights. Double-sided Velcro is so that you can reposition your lights when you're rotating your tent around as well. It gives you that flexibility to not only use it as a default tent, but in an array of different ways to do that as well. So that was a quick run through our top tips on how to get the most out of your Foldio. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you found it helpful in any way. Feel free to leave any questions down below in the comments section. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Hypop, and thanks for watching.